got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to PSGL. George Horgan here and Jack Burnett. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go!
Contact between the Mercedes teammates.
Denoso with a crafty manoeuvre up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Berezne.
Longay has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Borman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
And a big good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Premier Sim Gaming Leagues. It is the PSF1 Championship, and we return on Monday night for what has been nothing short of an absolutely unbelievable season so far from start to finish. Last week we had drama under the lights of the Jeddah Corniche. We head to the complete opposite side of the world to very different locations. We are in the hills of Mexico City. But one thing that never changes is a certain voice on the PSF1 Championship, and that is Mr. James Head alongside me. James, how are you keeping?
I knew you'll say that, to be honest. I am honestly doing really, really well. After the drama that we had in Jeddah, hopefully a bit of normality comes back to PSF1 with Mexico. It is a very strong track. It is a very, very good racing track as well. Hopefully plenty of overtakes. But the big talking point from last week, of course, Evan, is Matteo lost his podium and got a 10-second penalty.
Yep, he did. We had a bit of stewards drama last week. We had a couple of incidents, and Matteo did lose his podium. Very unfortunate for Matteo. We had a couple of stewards reports, a couple of incidents. Tom and Renz had an incident towards the end of the race. That was deemed no further action. Ryan and Matteo had their incident, and of course Matteo received 3 licence points, and 10 seconds was added to his final race time. That was deemed for causing a collision. And then we had one more incident involving Laura Ryan, but there was no further action on that one as well. That kind of spices things up in the championship a little bit. We're back to very close quarters, and it's 3 points separating Luca and Cameron at the top.
Yep, 3 points separating Luca and Cameron at the top. Luca Rapata on 68 points coming into tonight. Cameron Dowden second on 65. Renton third on 53. Danny Van Ruiten in fourth on 49. Rhiannon fifth on 37. Not here tonight, so could bring Matteo, Ryan, Brando, the likes into play for that battle for 5th position. Rodadell there in 9th, also on 24. And then Tom rounding off the top 10 on 24. Constructor standings as well, which should maybe up on your screen. I hope so. McLaren lead the way on 89 points.
Whoops.
Aston Martin in second on 77. Sauber there in third on 70. However, remember, we are in the F1 World Cars still. So all of these points that you see do get tallied up across the constructor standings, and it's Cameron Dowd and Tom leading the way for McLaren on 89 points coming into tonight, with 19 points separating both the drivers and the constructors coming into tonight.
Yeah, it is very close. We are, of course, still in the F1 World Car, but I'm hoping at least that that is going to end soon, because Codemasters had said, or EA or whoever it is at this point, have said they are looking at it and they are going to try and fix that. So hopefully we do get back to our sparkly coloured Formula 1 cars very soon. But for the time being, we're still in the F1 world machines, and some of the drivers are still not making it very easy for us in the commentary box, but that's an argument to have with them. But the two that do make it easy for us is the two McLarens, and that is of course Cameron and Tom. They probably as a duo have been the best together, James. I can't really think of another two that have been putting in big performances. I suppose the V-Carbs? No, sorry, not the V-Carbs. That is Ian Van Unen and Alpha Gully. I was going to say, I suppose, the Aston Martins have been good together. Renz and Ryderdale. But really, as a constructors team, the standings kind of are respective of what we've seen out on track.
They are, even though Tom has only picked up 24 points and Cameron Dowds has done the donkey work, I think, for McLaren so far, Tom has remained that consistent factor, I think, for the team, and I'm really hoping that they do bring a very good qualifying session here. Tom, I know, is quite quick around here. Cameron Dowds said himself he's not the strongest out on track. However, I believe the first man out on track, if I'm not mistaken, is the NLR man of Ryan. There is an absolute car park coming through in towards Peraltada at turn 16. Ryan, however, is getting the best of the rub of the green on the run now down in towards turn number 1 in the NLR Sporting livery, which he is running, coming now through the left hand of turn number 2, through the right hand of turn number 3, and Ryan, the German, now on the run towards turn number 4, open up that second DRS zone. Of course, same DRS detection point is shared for these first and second DRS detection zones. 28 flat through the first sector. Ryan not looking too bad as he comes in toward the double right of turn 6.
Yeah, not a bad lap this so far from Ryan, and I don't think this is the first time this season he's been the pace setter. Likes to get out there early and just get a lap time in, and invalidations through this sector specifically can sometimes be very much a problem for these drivers. Ryan has navigated it there nicely, not quite pushing the boundaries just yet, but it is a 54.9 in that middle sector. Breaking down towards the Fora Sol, formerly a baseball stadium, now a fabulous motorsporting facility, or I suppose a part of a motorsporting facility here at the Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez. Ryan slides it through that sector and round through that Peraltada, and across the line it is a 1:13.2 is the time to beat. Here comes Dirk across the line. He's not going to be able to beat that, as Luca Rapassa having a massive wobble. Cameron Dowds, I believe, is coming in towards the stadium as Vola Kongen goes quickest, beaten by the first of the two McLarens, Tom Roberts.
Yeah, look at Zozo as well, coming through the final couple of quarters, 54.8 on his lap time, goes quickest out of everyone. So Zozo now puts it toward the top end of the field. Expect him to be knocked off very, very soon indeed. Matteo on the run to line, only managing 10th. Luke Rapata invalidated through the middle sector. Renz Thomason, my pick for pole position out on top now. You're rolling through the final corner on the run to the line. May Moan with that lap time there down in 13th. Luke Rapata, as I say, already invalidated. There's Oscar, the Norwegian, comes out of nowhere and goes quicker. So Shazoo Oscar out on top. Renz Thomason in second. Zozo there in third. Look at how close the top 13 are right now. There are 0.3 of a second covering Oscar all the way down to Hazara. Add Matteo, Yaron and Azim into things, you've got the whole field separated by 0.6 of a second. That is how close the field are right now. Alpha Gully, as I call him, Sea Gully, now coming to the final corner. Above sea level here for Alpha Gully. On the run to the line, he goes 9th, 13.2. So it's now 14 drivers. In fact, yeah, 14 drivers separated by 0.3 of a second. Cameron Dowds though in 13th, Danny Van Ruyten in 12th though.
Yeah, Danny Van Ruyten in 12th, Cameron Dowds in 13th, but they're literally less than half a second off pole. That is obscene beyond belief. Danny Van Ruyten is still pushing on his in-lap. He hasn't validated, but seems to be just trying to get used to the circuit. But it is Shazoo Oscar who's currently quickest in session and is currently ahead of Renz Thomason, and that's quite an achievement for him if he can have that last until the drop off the checkered flag. Another Norwegian, Hazara, only down in 15th. He is just under 0.4 of a second off pole position. Giovanno has not set a time, and neither has Luca Repassa. So we could add them two into the mix, and we can have almost the entire field separated by under half a second. It's a bit of a different challenge, I suppose, in terms of the race compared to last week, James. But in terms of qualifying, it is definitely a difficult track to get a solid lap in, just like Jeddah.
It is, especially through the S section, I think, as well. I saw with Ryan's lap, for example, his car was leaning all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and that normally means you can invalidate coming through that section of the track, especially if you don't have necessarily a good downforce setup actually on that car. But I think he did a very good job on that lap time, and you've got to have, it is primarily a high downforce circuit, so you've got to have lower wings really grabbing the attention. Gavano might be trying to prove that point now as he comes in toward the Ferrasol. He's just about to go on a lap time with 6 minutes gone in the session. Oscar in first, from Renz in second, Zozo there in third. The drivers now filtering out the pit lane once again. Gavano, is he going to give and take a few positions on the down and towards turn one?
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of traffic on this lap, is Giovanna, which is not ideal. Representing Sauber for this season, was promoted halfway through last season from F3 to F2, so he's a man who is used to jumping up and trying to perform at a higher level. Almost took pole in his debut in that F2 race in the Netherlands, in Zandvoort, of course, and did take a race win, I should say. No, he didn't. I was reading the wrong person's notes. He didn't take a race win. That was Ryan that was about to say took a race win. Ryan not here tonight. I think he's having some hardware issues with his sim rig, if I remember correctly. But unfortunately, we don't have Ryan with us tonight. Giovanni, however, not really being held up too much. Driver's actually doing quite a good job to get out of the way. And you can see on that camera there, Giovanni just flicking it through the S's. Very interesting to see what this sector split is going to be. It is going to be a 55 flat, so slower than what we saw from NLR Ryan, and he's about the 7th place position.
Matteo, Jeroen, Azim, that sort of area is where I'm thinking Giovanni was going to go now, coming in toward the right-hand of turn 16 through Peraltada, makes a mistake, actually coming in toward Peraltada, very thin line running through Giovanni on the run to the line, and he actually goes 11th, so surprises me a little bit with his lap time. In there in 11th position, ahead of Damien, ahead of Danny Van Mouten. That might fill him up with a lot of confidence. We have got other drivers, though, on a lap time right now. Brando was looking pretty quick early on. 27.9 first sector, 2/10 up, currently down in 8th position. And if he was to go quicker right now, like he is, Brando would be going provisional pole right now.
Yeah, let's ride on board with him through the final couple of S's corners and down towards the right-hander. He is almost 1/10 of a second up in that middle sector, so needs to find a little bit more time in towards the stadium. Very wide off the apex, but he's going to try and hook the car back in. We see some drivers trying to slide it through the corners, others just trying to take it smooth. It's really a mixed approach so far here for this F1 grid. Brando up and across the start-finish line. Yep, lost a lot of time missing that apex. Doesn't end up improving. Rapasa from bottom to top, 1:12.9 now, and he has just gone a level above what we've seen so far. He's now the target car for everyone to beat, but remember, he has done his lap a lot later. Tom Roberts goes to second, 1/10 off pole. Keep an eye on Renz Tomasson as well. He's just entering the middle sector.
Yeah, Oscar's just ahead of him, actually, out on track there in 3rd position. He'll be looking to try and improve. He was 500s up in the first sector. Middle sector split, 800s up. So he's purple in that middle sector. There goes, I think, Azim up into 5th position. Good lap from him. Zozo there down in 6th. Volokongan in 7th. They'll be the next to come across the line. Speaking of which, Zozo just goes 4th. Oscar, though, the Norwegian, through the final couple of corners, through in toward Peraltada. Slight mistake on the exit through turn 16. On the run to line comes the Norwegian, and he does go 2nd, but that was a scrappy end to the lap there for Oscar. Renz Tomasson coming in behind, and my man for pole position puts it back on pole position. Out on top, Renz Tomasson from Luke Rapatch in 2nd, Oscar there in 3rd. Please take a photo, because I don't think it's going to last.
And there goes Danny Van Ruiten to second, so a lot of improvements from down the field here. Let's see what Cameron Dowds can do in this first sector. He's just heading towards the split. He's 0.8 of a second down, won't be improving on that lap. NLR Ryan was 2 seconds down in the middle sector, so he won't be improving upon there. Hazara is just circling around the first sector now, so these guys starting their laps a little bit later than what we've seen, so track evolution will help them a tad, but not overall a lot. Hazara is a second down in the first sector, so I'm saying track evolution will help them. Well, they're not even improving in the first place to get that track evolution. A good lap from ETA Azam, who goes to 7th position, or Azim, I should say. Decent for him. Had a solid enough debut in Saudi Arabia, James, and it seems like he is slowly finding his footing in this field.
He is. He was a real hotshot, I've got to say, for ETA on the last game cycle. He came alive, I think, in a WR race, if I'm not mistaken, and we all talked about him thinking, who's this kid? Why on earth is he not being mentioned within the top brass? And now he is. He's there in 7th, ahead of the likes of Volokongan, who's won around this track before. Cameron Dowds, of course, the absolute flying Scotsman GOAT of PSF1. he is doing really, really well and is keeping up with the likes of Zolzo. Zolzo's a bit surprising for me as well, being up so high in 6th position. I normally see him a little bit further down the field, if I'd be brutally honest, but he is there in 6th position. And looking further down the field, what's surprising me right now, Max von der Geest, I think, is surprising me, and Matteo, right down at the bottom end of the field, down in P20, current championship winner from last season, down in P20. You do not see that often here in PSF1, as we have now got cars coming through once again to start up their lap times. Dirk is going to be one of the first to come across the line, but Ryderdal, I think, is just about to start on his lap time. The Swede now running down towards turn 1.
Yeah, interesting you say about Efior Zorzo. He usually is a little bit further down, but as a whole this season, he has underperformed. He got 1 podium last season. His best result so far this season was 4th in Silverstone. So is awaiting that 1 podium. He might look to take it here tonight. Is the Real Madrid supporter. Ooh. So he's used to his bit of success. That's a decent first sector for Ryderdal heading in towards the left-hander. He is looking to improve. Mostly in the middle sector, I think, is where he lost his time. Traditionally, I wouldn't consider Mexico a strong track for Ryderdal. He's usually better at sort of slower speed circuits, but look, every driver has their unique approaches, and this might be a circuit that Ryderdal, funnily enough, finds, as that's Luca Rapasa out, and that is a crash out on circuit. You're going to see that here to the right-hander. There's Luca into the wall.
Wow.
James, that's a major mistake for the championship leader.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was on an outlap as well. So Luca Rapata out of the session, major mistake from him. Ryderdal makes a mistake as well, coming through the final couple of corners. In fact, Luca Rapata just reporting he's had a wheel disconnect. So that is what occurred with Luca Rapata. He's had a wheel disconnect. And he's also saying amazing and love this as well within the Discord chat. But he's there in P3. He'll be going further down the field. He better get that wheel set up quickly. Luckily, we've got a mandatory restart after this, so we can have a little bit more time. But that is not great news for Luke Rapata. Rayen had a wheel disconnect. He's been having hardware issues, which is why he's not here. Same with Luke Rapata now. Don't tell me Lightning's going to strike 3 times.
Could do. Could do. Hopefully for all these drivers it doesn't, as Volakongan is improving in the first sector. Not by an awful lot, but look, every little bit helps. Most drivers out on track now for another bite of the cherry. This is sort of a 3rd attempt, so it seems like you can get 4 runs in. The game does give you with 4 sets of Pirelli softs if you so require, and none of these drivers really seem to be saving it for the race, as Matteo, not one of them, still looking like Knight Rider in 7th position, but he's jumped up the order at least, so that is not bad from him. Zorzo, let's take a look on board with him in towards the middle sector. Is there an improvement here? He's just racing across the curbs, and I have to say, very intriguingly, using his ERS in the corners. Well, I mean, it's not worked out because he is down by a 10.5, but not something we traditionally associate is using your ERS in the corners, but might be an interesting approach from these drivers tonight. Rens Thomason improving by almost a 10th in that middle sector. It's looking like he's going to extend the banker here.
Oh, no, he's not. He has a huge mistake coming through the first. Oh, my word. How on earth he's kept that going? There still might be an improvement. Coming through the final corner now. Bails into the pit lane. He was not forthcoming to actually ending off that lap time. He would have been, I think, back 2 tenths down with that mistake. But Rens Thomason leading the way. That was looking like, until he made that mistake, a very special lap coming in from the Dutchman. Looking to try and back my claim to fame up by saying he's going to be on pole position. Currently is right now. Alpha Gully there going into 7th, I think, just coming across the line. 1,000th of a second off Oscar, so the Shizou boys are not looking too bad either. Matteo, by the way, jumped up from P20 to P8 now, 13 flat from him, so much more like the Italian stallion there down in 8th position. Cameron Dowds, though, in 15th position. I know we say he's a very, not a very strong qualifier, but 15th for Cameron Dowds is about as low as I think I've seen him on this game cycle, let alone tonight. So Cameron Dowds has really got the wool out of his eyes, really got to focus now. He's 1,000th of a second off Brando. Brando's 1,000th of a second off Volakongan, and Volakongan's a 3,000th of a second off Dirk. So it is very close between 12th to 15th. Cameron Dowds, though, down in 15th. That is the shock for me of the session with 3 minutes to go.
It must be something about Spanish-speaking countries, because he didn't qualify well in Spain either, did Cameron Dowds, but certainly it seems to be his Achilles heel is qualifying, and he's got to improve upon this time. I know he's only 3 tenths of a second off that time of Rens Thomassen, but he's got to try place himself higher up the order, especially given the opportunity that has arisen, and that is the mistake of Luca Rapassa, sorry, the DNF of Luca Rapassa due to that wheel disconnect. So Volokongan first out on track. He fancies leading these guys around. He's not going to bother sitting in traffic or biding his time. He just wants to be out on track and get a clean run. Cameron Dowds is in amongst it, but we do have the ghosting on, of course, so you don't have to worry as much about traffic maybe, but you certainly do have to worry to some extent. You don't want to have a nice purple ghost, as you can see on Cameron Dowds' point of view, in your way. But yeah, got to get a big lap in. Big 2 minutes for Cameron Dowds here in his championship fight, because this could be make or break for the full race even. But yeah, this could be a very exciting end given how close it is.
Definitely so. By the way, the poll, or the poll, as we like to call it here in PSF1, sponsored by myself and Automotive Predictions Company. That is not an official sponsorship.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a different
just
company name every week, so look for that little Easter egg, folks.
Just do not throw that as a sponsorship for next season, whatever you may do. The poll has just closed though. Danny Van Routen on 36%, Rens on 31%, Other on 22%, and then Alpha Gully on 9%. Currently, the prediction actually for the poll, not looking too bad. Rentard on top, Danny Van Routen in second. Swap them two around, you got the poll result right there. However, Volokongan trying to spoil the party. 13.1 has got a very good lap time on ball with him, running now down in towards turn number 1. We'll focus on Volokongan now. I think Azim is behind him along with Cameron Dowds. They're just starting on runs right now as well. But Volokongan through turn number 3, on the run towards turn number 4. Let's see what the Norwegian can do. And it's a 27.9 in the first sector. It's not looking too bad. Gets a little bit of a late rotation and actually through turn 4, now through turn 5, and now in towards the stadium section, or the fake stadium section, through the double right-hander of turn number 6, and then in toward the S section of turn 7 to 11. Volokongan is looking very neat and tidy. Makes a slight mistake, and that's going to lose him time all the way through the S section on the run toward the middle sector split, which is going to come in about 3 seconds' time. Volokongan through this middle sector split, 54.7, and surprisingly for me, Evan, he's up.
Yeah, he is up. Rens Thomassen down in the first sector we saw. Let's see what Cameron Dowds is doing. Was marginally up in that first sector, as I think Volokongan's made a slight little bit of a blunder, just going from the noise I'm hearing on the Discord call. But Volokongan towards the start-finish line. Let's see where he'll jump. It's going to be the third row and 5th place. That's a very nice improvement for him. Rens Thomassen, 10th of a second up in that middle sector. Danny Van Routen, what's he doing? He will get his split now. It is going to be... oh, marginally up. This could be very close. But Cameron Dowds has improved only to 10th position. Rens Thomassen extends the margin further. Danny Van Routen a little bit out of line, heading through the Forrestal section of the circuit, through Peraltada. Can he steal the glory from his Dutch counterpart? Van Routen across the line. He can! It's pole position for Danny Van Routen for the Mexican Grand Prix. Is anyone going to be able to beat him? Tom Roberts finding a little bit of time. What about Alpha Gully? We have a couple of cars coming for the final corner. Dirk as well coming for the final sector. We'll need to keep an eye on him. He is improving very marginally. It's so close that still anyone could just about take it. Keep an eye on Alpha Gully. Here's Ryder Dahl. Can he steal pole back for the Aston Martins? Thomassen was beaten. Ryder Dahl will not improve upon his time. Azim will not find time either, unfortunately. Tom Roberts is giving this a bit of a go, you know. Tom Roberts has a lap in him here. Does he have pole position? Across the line comes the McLaren. No, it's the front row of the grid. It's agonisingly close for Tom Roberts, but what a mighty effort in his teammates' absence. There's not many other improvements out on circuit, and yes, that will be it. It'll be Danny Van Routen who starts on pole, but in Mexico, sometimes they say third is the best place to start, and that does belong to Rens Thomassen, so it's not all blue for him.
Definitely not all blue for him. He is going to be focusing his attentions now on that race. In the end, Danny Van Routen out on top. I'm glad nobody, by the way, video clipped that at all in terms of my reaction, because I absolutely banged my desk and my hand now hurts because of Danny Van Routen going on pole position. Tom in second, though. Very, very happy for him. McLaren continuing their consistency. Inconsistency, obviously, with Cameron Dowds. He's starting, down and unlucky for some 13th position, so we've got to make ground very quickly in the early stages of the race. But Tom in second, that is going to fill him up with a lot of confidence indeed. Ren's there in third. You do not want to be, I think, on the front row of the grid at the start of this race. I think you want to be either third or fourth throughout. And let's see this full grid order right about now. Danny Van Routen out on top from Tom Roberts in second. Rens Thomassen there in third, 400ths of a second, covering the front three. Luke Mapata, championship leader, 4th position. I think he'll be very happy with the wheel disconnect on his side there as well. Ryan there in 5th, Azim there in 6th, and look at how close it is between Alpha Gully, Volokongan, and Oscar. 1,000th of a second each between 7th and 9th. Roderdale ran off the top 10, then it's Dirk, Max von der Gies, Cameron Dowd, Brando, Matteo, then it's also Damien Curiel, and then Gavano, Jeroen, and then Hazara right down at the bottom end of the field. We're going to go for an intermission break. We'll have a word from our sponsors right now. We'll be back with you in a few minutes.
Welcome back, folks, to PSGL. We have a brief intermission before we get going for the race, but it is 3-time Dutch karting champion and PSF5 promotee Danny van Ruiten who is on pole position. And James, we were kind of thinking before this that he'd definitely be a contender, but he is definitely on everyone's minds for the race win now.
He definitely is, and I think that was a very consummate final sector that he had on his lap time. Renz made a slight mistake, as I mentioned, on his lap in towards turn 16. Ultimately, I think that is what's cost him. But Danny van Ruiten, he's a 3-time karting champion, as you mentioned there, Evan, in real life, and he's definitely shown all of that experience that he's gained from real life, gained from being a champion in real life as well, taking it to the sim world and taking it to the likes of Tom Roberts and Renz. Tom, very surprised with actually in 2nd position. Very, very strong lap from him. He'll definitely be looking as a podium finisher, I think, here tonight. Could be an outsider chance of a podium. Renz Thomason in 3rd, though. I think he will be the one to watch out for in this race. Luke Rapata, though, in 4th alongside him. Pretty much got all the championship protagonists in the front 4 positions, apart from Cameron Dowd's down in 13th, which I think is, as I've already said, probably the shock of qualifying.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Definitely the shock of qualifying is Cameron being so far down. Tom's last win in PSF1 was in season 35, and that was just slightly north of Mexico City in the fine state of Texas in the Circuit of the Americas. If he nails the strategy tonight, James, you got to think he's got at least an outside chance.
Definitely so, and I think in terms of strategy, most drivers will be starting, I would imagine, on a set of medium compound tyres. I do not want to predict anything in terms of the strategy, but I think with Tom, he's got to make sure that he has a very strong start from Danny van Ruiten. He's got to try and get it to jump on the line in towards turn 1, but because it's such a long run down in towards turn number 1, you're going to be under pressure from Renz, Luca, Ryan, Azim, who are all going to be charging in the toe behind you. So watch out, I think, for a little bit of Constantino effect, a little bit of contact down in towards turn number 1. I hope it's all clean, but normally when it comes down in towards turn 1 at Mexico, it usually isn't.
No, usually it's not. Usually it's fairly chaotic. And seeing as PSF1 is here in Mexico, you might remember the last time me and James commentated a race in PSF1 Mexico, because we didn't actually commentate the race. The whole servers died, and EA didn't... EA just weren't having it. So we decided to entertain you all with a fine game of rock, paper, scissors. And I think because it's PSF1 in Mexico that we have to sort of have the second round of that. James, are you ready? He's no idea how to do this, by the way.
I can't see you, which is the worst possible thing.
You can't,
so
but everyone at home will see us both, so they know I can't cheat like as much as I'd love to. So I reckon we go... do we go rock, paper, scissors, 1, 2, 3, shoot, or just rock, paper, scissors, shoot? We're on a limited time. Skip the 1, 2, 3. Just go straight away. Right. So, hand up to the camera.
Hang on.
To play rock, paper, scissors, James. Not jazz hands.
What are your hands? What are your hands doing? Hang on.
I'm getting ready to play rock, paper, scissors.
But how's your hand movements though?
You go rock,
don't-
paper,
oh.
scissors, and then scissors, paper, or... Okay, fine. Right. Are you ready, anyways?
I am ready.
Okay. So, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And that is going to be 2-0 for Evan Dalton.
Terrible.
Yeah, I went scissors. So the Mexico City Grand Prix, it is a 4.305 kilometer circuit, 2.674 miles, 17 corners, although it doesn't seem like that, because there is a lot of flat-out curves. The longest straight is the Recta Principale, which is 1.2 kilometers from the Peraltada down to the apex of the first corner. It's 890 meters from Danny Van Routen's grid slot to turn number 1, which is just, it is way too long to not be worrying about if you are starting on pole position. It is 54% of the lap at full throttle, so there is a lot of slow speed corners. A mix of corners, one thing that usually leads to, James, that is managing your tyres.
Managing your tyres indeed, and especially so I think in the first half of the race, I think it's going to be really important to try and decipher what tyre might be best to start on, what tyres might be best to go on toward the end of the race. I've got it down in the notes, and these were very hastily edited just before we came live as well. Set a soft compound tyre. Anybody starting on that, I think you're going to dig yourself your own grave. I think it will be like Dia de los Muertos, I think, in terms of that. For the set of soft compound tyres, they die off so quick. The optimal is about 5 or 6 laps. Most drivers will go about 8 or 9 on a set of softs. Medium compound tyres, I've got it down as 14 laps, optimal of 10 or 11. We saw that in F2 with the VSC, putting in at the end of lap 9, lap 10, roughly for the medium compound tyres, then transition from set of hards. Set of hards, you know the deal on this game. Set of hards are so much better than every single tyre on this game. 22 laps, I've got them at an optimal of 17 to 18 to pit in as well. So hopefully you get a better idea of what the strategies could be like, what tyres they could be starting on. But Evan, we don't know what the tyres are going to be, and we don't know what drivers are going to be starting on either.
No, we don't really have a clue, because it's sort of up to yourself, really, what you want to go for. There's a friendly mix, or hopefully that's at least what we are going to see. But it is Danny Van Routen who starts on pole position in this one. He, of course, is 4th in the championship. Only 19 points of Luca Rapassa at the top. So a big result for him tonight could leave him in a very nice position heading into the final 4 races of the season. Cameron Dowds, remember, starting down the grid, but don't rule him out. He is a man known for his race expertise, known for his ERS management, and he's usually a man who can rise to the top when things get chaotic. Keep an eye as well on Luca Rapassa, who we didn't get to see come the end of qualifying because of a wheel disconnect that put his car into the wall, so we haven't seen his true pace. And then, of course, you can never count out Renz Tamasin, the newly crowned king of Saudi Arabia, after his brilliant last week. But this Mexico City circuit, of course, usually towards the end of a Formula 1 season, can provide big moments in terms of the championship. Will it do it now? We're here in the Magdalena Sports City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, and with Danny Van Routen on pole position, we go racing in Mexico, and it's a good start from Van Routen. Renz Tamasin in 3rd, keep an eye on him. He'll have the slipstream down towards the first corner. Tamasin in the blue, already looking for moves immediately. Luca Rapassa looking for an overtake as well. Is Tom Roberts going to try dive it down the inside? He is, but Danny Van Routen somehow still leads heading through turn number 2. What a crucial race start from him. Luca Rapassa in the McLaren, not driving a McLaren, in 4th. NLR Ryan in 5th. Spots gained for TOT Brando. He's up 3 spots. But what a crucial race start for Danny Van Routen.
Yeah, absolutely crucial start from Danny Van Routen. Tom Roberts nearly collected Renz Thomason to the inside line. Azim and Ryan, however, are side-by-side in towards the double right of turn number 6. They're 2x2. Right in behind as well. Cameron Dowds making up good positions. He's lost Brando up 2 positions, I think, from 13th. So that's a good start from him. Running out wide there is Azim. They all filtered through now in toward the line of stern formation, in toward the S section. Danny Van Routen leads the way. Tom Roberts in 2nd. Luke Rapazza, though, all over the back of Renz, in toward the right-hander now of turn number 12, in toward the Ferrosol. Let's see what Luke Rapazza can do. Looks like Rent is running slightly lower ERS, 45% for him early on. Luca Pat's on 54, so Luca's got a little bit of a gain up going on. Damien and Max von der Geese side by side, further down the field along with Mateo, and Zolzo involved in that fight as well. But at the end of that one, Danny Van Ryten leads the way, Tom Roberts in second, Rent in third. But DRS enabled this time around, Evan. It's going to be a whole kettle of fish running down towards turn one.
Yeah, and you can immediately see it because second, third and fourth are all gaining on the race leader, and Tom Roberts might look for this one, but Rens Thomassen with the lunge, and Rens Thomassen makes contact with the rear right corner of Danny Van Ryten. Somehow the only thing he's lost is one position and not his front wing. That could have been very dramatic in this championship. ETA Nazim is looking for a spot as well. The young Turkishman, 15 years of age, he's looking to become the new young star of console racing here in PSGL, and he's doing very well so far. Just backed out of that one very maturely. He'll stay in fifth for the time being, but Danny Van Ryten has taken that opportunity to sort of create a little bit of a gap. He's almost out of a second. Very difficult to do so here in Mexico City, but leave him to it. In terms of your tyres, the highest hard tyre runner is Ryder in 8th. Anyone above that has started on Pirelli's medium compound.
Not sure who Rens Thomassen was trying to be there down in towards turn number one. Got a little bit of James Bond about him, I think, trying to dive into the inside of Tom. Very late on the brakes it was, my word. And now he's being cost of it because he's got 27% of ERS. Luca's got 39. Tom's got 31. So Rens has having to forfeit a lot of battery early on in this race. And a lot of movement from Tom and Luca now being ahead of him. Speaking of Tom, he's on the back of Danny Van Ryten in towards turn number one. Cameron Dad's getting past Oscar further down the field as well. In towards turn one, so that is job done for the Flying Scotsman. Will the Flying Scotsman be a sleeper train by the end of tonight? Who knows? But Cameron Dad's there in 9th, Oscar there in 10th, doing a good job. But Danny leading the way, Tom in second, Luca Patzer in third. And Luca trying to gain on the back of Tom. Don't think we're going to see much action apart from Cameron Dowd going side by side with Rodadell. Round the outside of turn number 4, Flying Scotsman. Who needs a Flying Scotsman? Where we got Cameron Dowd to the inside line, in towards turn number 6, trying to get the job done on Rodadell. And Rodadell now has been put in the snow ditch there from Sweden. Cameron Dowd soon he's into 9th. Beautiful move from Cameron Dowd. In fact, even he's up into 8th position.
Yeah, good start from Cameron. It's the solid start he needed. Very steady. And he is up and into 8th spot now. A man in a great position on this race start is NLR Ryan, because all 5 cars in front have dumped their battery out the window. Ryan has just sat pretty behind and has just kept his. He's in a comfortable position, maybe towards the end of the stint rather than now, because they're all just trying to get out the door and get up the road. Fastest lap trading, but Cameron Dowd once again will be the one who remains with it. And it really looks like Tom Roberts is going to try go for the race lead for the first time now. Van Ryten positions his car in about the middle of the track. No, Tom Roberts just backs off for the time being, and although he's a man who is very eager to win a race, he has been agonizingly close on many occasions. He knows the better decision, and that's to sit behind for now.
Yep, the ex-season 30 PSF2 champion, of course, back in the day, Tom Roberts. I actually commentated on the season finale race that he won that title at as well. So Tom, definitely me showing my age and Tom showing his age, I think, quite literally from season 30. There was side-by-side action further down the field, though, with Brando and Alpha Gully. Brando getting ahead, I think, of Alpha Gully there into 11th position. Alpha Gully there down in 12th position. Not looking too bad at all in terms of their battle. Evil, by the way, in the chat saying about the tyres, everyone is on a set of mediums, bar from Rodadell, Mateo, Dirk, Zolzo, Max von der Geese, Zara, and Gavano. They're all on a set of hards. Euronas came into the pit lane from a set of mediums. He's now on a set of hards right down at the bottom end of the field as well. But pretty much how you are liking me, I think, in terms of the strategies, how I pretty much said a little bit earlier on, medium compound tyres are the way to go with the first half of the race. Hards will be for the second half. However, Evan, I spied a little bit of cloud cover beginning to build over the circuit. No threat of rain, I don't think. Is this why, though, majority of the field are on a set of mediums as Tom goes for the race lead?
Could definitely be. Tom Roberts takes the race lead. It could definitely be, James. And another thing is that the weather forecasts are not necessarily the most accurate thing for the drivers, so could be something along those lines. Tom Roberts, of course, a season 30 PSGL champion. Do you know who else is a season 30 PSGL champion, James?
Oh, don't say it's you.
It's me. No one look at what tier it was, but it's me. So it is one PSGL F1, or not PSGL F1 champion, my God. One PSGL champion commentating on another, or many I should say. But Tom comfortable at the front, Danny Van Routen in second, Luca Ripassa in third, Cameron Dowds in seventh. Probably the best race start he could have asked for, bar some form of miracle. It's been comfortable, he's in a good position on tyres, in a good position on battery, and he's gained a couple of spots.
He has indeed, yeah. Evan Dalton, of course, season 30 PSF 7 champion, I'm tempted to say.
F14.
I think. F14, even worse, even worse. And it just comes to show that he's got an 8-time league racing winner alongside him in the commentary box. Luke Ripassa, though, is going to go maybe for the race lead on the back of Tom. He's got a very good run. On the back, Danny Van Routen maybe going around the outside. It's 3 wide in towards turn number 1. The 2 McLarens there, or the 1 fake McLaren to the inside on at turn number 1. Tom just about gets the race lead. Luca in second. Danny Van Routen there in third. They're all in the same team, but here comes Renz on the back, going around the outside of both of them. Down in towards turn number 4. Renz going for the double overtake, trying to go around the outside now. In towards turn number 4, the Dutchman. On Dutchman. Dutch on Dutch crime in towards turn number 5. Tom leads the way. Danny Van Routen in second. Renz there in third. Really well judged by everyone. Cameron Dowds is absolutely stonking his way through the field as well. He's on the outside of Ryan, in toward the S section. Ryan might go a little bit too deep. Cameron Dowds doesn't get the switch back from out the corner. Tom leading the way. Danny Van Routen in second. Renz there in third. If that battle is to whet the appetite for further racing to come, it's going to be one hell of a race. Here comes Cameron Dowds again on the back of Ryan.
Yeah, I have to say that's one thing we've seen. I was only thinking about it a couple of laps ago. That's one thing we've seen so far this season. We've seen very intense battles, but very clean as well on the other hand. And 3 wide once again, no contact made. A job well done by these guys, and they're providing entertainment for you folks at home. Lap 7 of 36. Tom Roberts still leads. Danny Van Routen in second. Seems like the battle will not kick off once again unless Rens Thomassen goes for second, and Rens Thomassen will go for second. Look at the launch he's getting. Rens Thomassen doesn't just go for second, he goes for first, and he's on the inside. Now there's contact made. Danny Van Routen avoids it completely. He goes way wide through the corner. Tom Roberts just somehow survives in front. Luca Ripassa now in third. Look at ETA Azim as well, the Turkishman, trying it round the outside of both, and he's got nothing to lose from a standings perspective, so he's going to give it all down towards the right-hander. Azim still on the inside, Ripassa on the out. Is Danny Van Routen going to try fling it round the outside? That's opportunistic from the Dutchman, and if I've ever seen a karting move, that is it. Van Routen puts his experience to good use. He's back into fourth.
And he nearly lost the car coming through turn number 7 as well. Great car control from Danny Van Routen. He is absolutely on the limit in terms of this race, in terms of this action out on track. Who said Mexico was going to be boring? I certainly didn't. Mateo making the move on Brando, his fellow countryman, further down the field as well. But Tom there leading the way. Renz in second, Luke Ripassa in third. At this moment in time, Tom has got 60% of ERS. Renz is on 81, Luke Ripassa on 35, Danny Van Routen on 30. So Renz Thomason, the ERS management saver of the century, it seems, here currently in Mexico. He has got more ERS than Tom, more ERS than the guys behind him. Can use that until his heart's content. However, I don't think he's going to go for the move. There was 2 by 2. Mateo, Dirk, Zozo, Brando in towards turn number 1. And there goes, I think, Damien to the inside line as well. On Brando further down the field, 14th and 15th, they find Nakbo. Brando holds the position. Damien tries to get the switch back. Might get the switch back down, running in towards turn number 4. He might be on the outside line. Watch out, Cameron Dowd and Ryan in P6 and 7, as well as Cameron goes around the outside on Ryan through turn number 4, tries to get the job done, does get the job done. Flying Scotsman now in takeoff mode. He spoonies into 6th.
Yeah, he loves that line, loves that corner. That is the Essay del Lago, I think is how you say that. Chicane. Loves that. Round the outside, becomes the inside. It's one he's used since back in his PSF 5 days when I commentated on one of his wins around here. He loves that little manoeuvre, and Cameron Dowds is up to 6th place with his teammate leading the Grand Prix so far. Lap 8 of 36, these drivers all starting on the mediums. When will they be looking to peel into the pits, James, do you think? Another prediction.
Honestly, I would expect from about now, personally. I would think they'll go for Zeta Hards towards the end of the race. It all depends, though, on the driver, really. I'm here absolutely stonking. Luke Rapazza's going to interrupt me here. He's going to go side by side with Renz. Renz on the back of Tom. Goes for the move in towards turn number 1. Dutchman against the Brit. Brit on the outside line, just about holds on. Tom into the lead there. Renz in second. Luke Rapazza there in third. And now Luke Rapazza's got a fantastic run on the back of Renz. Renz very weak now in terms of his ERS usage. Luke Rapazza pulls the outside line in towards turn number 4, trying to get the job done. Cameron Dowd's around the outside of Azim in the background as well. Just see that in the back of camera shot. Luke Rapazza gets the move done into second. Cameron Dowd's now the fine Scotsman, just about finds a way through. Azim loses control of the car. I'm not sure if there was contact actually on the exit of the corner. I think there may well have been. But Cameron Dowd just threw his into fifth. His race is so much better than qualifying.
Yeah, Cameron Dowd's into fifth. Got it done in the same corner. He's used to that move. He knows how to pull it off now, and everyone else has got to beware when Cameron Dowds comes alongside you into that bend. And here is NLR Ryan side by side with Ryder Dahl. Ryder Dahl chucks it up the inside, but he's slightly boxed in by Azim and Volakongan. And now Ryder Dahl, opportunistic, around the outside of the Peril Tada. Azim's going to pull into the pit lane. That was very impromptu, as does Renz Tomasson. I wonder was there some damage potentially there for Azim. But 0.3 of a second between Cameron and Danny Van Routen up the front as well. Cameron Dowds is back in race winning contention here. Ryder Dahl goes for the race lead. Luca Rapazza goes for the race lead. Ryder Dahl goes for fifth. NLR Ryan's going to try the three of them. That's dangerous. Very dangerous territory for NLR Ryan. He backs out. Volakongan gets past Mateo as well. There's a whole lot of moving and shaking here on the outskirts of Mexico City.
Yeah, boom, boom, shake the room. I think there's what one famous artist once said upon a time. There goes Zozo to the inside line as well on Ryan. Through now turn number 4, trying to go now around the outside of turn number 5. I think Ryan's got half a car length ahead. He'll get a full car length ahead into the corner. Just about holds on there in P8, Zozo there in P9. Everyone, by the way, has come into the pit lane. Renz, Azim, Oscar all came in the pit lane. Set a hard compound and tires. They'll be trying to get toward the end of the race. So my theory, Evan, of the strategy pretty much been spot on to what I saw in PSF2 a little bit early on. And that was, remember, with a virtual safety car. Luke Rapazza leading the way. Tom in second, Dan Van Routen in third. Renz has came in the pit lane early. Does this mean everyone's going to go out a couple of more laps and then come into the pit lane and then put Renz under pressure later on? And I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're all ignoring the undercut attempt by Renz Tomasson. They're paying no attention to it, and they will carry on. And Renz into the pit lane, who I believe is still a ETA driver. Yeah, he is an ETA driver, and so it was Azim. So that could be something to do with the engineer having a good idea. And ETA are usually fairly spot on with their strategies. That's how Mateo won 2 titles. Obviously, he's brilliant driving as well, as there is a yellow flag in Sector 3. That is Giron that's had a problem heading through the Recta de Avolo corner in towards the Forest Sol Stadium. So Giron has had a pretty miserable race so far.
Yeah, good pronunciation, by the way, for my co-coms here in the chat. Definitely been working on his Spanish recently.
Yeah, I was in Spain recently, so had to try.
Oh, you were in Spain recently. That's a good thing. Luke Rapazza leading the way, Tom in second, Danny Van Routen in third. Danny Van Routen is looking very quick down on the back of Tom. May come like a shot in towards turn number 12, but I don't think he's going to find the move. Everyone running line of stern. Apart from Zozo getting the move done on Volakongan. Very deep in towards turn number 12, but gets the job done. The Spaniard filtering into our Spanish theme that we've got going on here right now in the comments box. Luke Rapazza leads the way. Tom and Robertson second, Danny Van Routen third. They come through Peril Tada, now on the run down in towards turn number 1. And we'll see what Tom Roberts can do in terms of this. There is a yellow flag, and that is your own car coming out the pit lane. Watch out, do not do any on what me run into the back of an AI car. Tom Robertson towards turn 1, trying to get the job done on Luke Rapazza. Half sends it and then doesn't go for the move as Luke Rapazza catches the curb on the inside line. Tom on the back in towards turn number 1. Your own car, by the way, is out of the way of everything, which I'm glad to report. There goes Danny Van Routen on the outside line now, and Tom nearly into the back of Luke Rapazza. Tom to the inside line on Luke Rapazza. Now Danny goes around the outside as well. Cameron Dowds is involved in this as well, but Tom leading the way. Luke in second, Danny Van Routen in third. Cameron Dowds in fourth. There can only be 2 McLarens in this battle, Evan, and that's the guys in first and fourth. Luke Rapazza's the fake one in amongst the pack.
Yes, Luca Rapazza is the imposter in the front train because he is not a McLaren driver. He is McLaren's biggest nightmare so far this season. He's been the one to put it up to Cameron Dowd so far when no one else really has, and Luca Rapazza does drive for Sauber, not for McLaren. He is teammates with Giovano. Giovano is down the order in 14th currently. Here comes Rapazza into the pit lane, so he will be in the pit lane, as is Danny Van Routen. McLaren 1-2 then here in Mexico City, and of course the hard runners stay out as well. That's Ryder Dahl, Mateo and Zorzo. I'm very intrigued to see where Luca Rapazza comes out in relation to Renz Tomasson. I would assume Renz is going to be in front because of the undercut, but how far behind is Luca? Luca has left his pit box and is just trundling down pit lane. Here's Renz Tomasson blasting past the pit exit, and as we look back into the pit lane, it's going to be close here. Luca Rapassa will be the car behind, as will Danny Van Routen. Or no, sorry, Azim is actually going to get them both, and will Shazoo Oscar. So Oscar's put himself back into contention, and Oscar is actually at the front of this train, with Azim in 13th or 2nd in the train, and then Luca and Danny, but they're 3 seconds behind Renz Tomasson.
And Oscar, I believe, has got no front wing, has he? Left side end plate damage on that car? Yes, indeed. Left side end plate damage on the car from Oscar. I was wondering why that was looking a little bit strange there on terms of the end plate. I thought he was missing a front wing there, but Oscar there has lost left side end plate damage. Obviously, still doesn't feel like it's enough for him to come in the pit lane. I wonder where he picked that up, though. I wonder if it was in that slight skirmish that we saw with the likes of Matteo early on in the race. Renz, though, 3 seconds ahead of the pack, ahead of Oscar and ahead of Azim, Luke Rapata. So if these guys come in the pit lane now, Tom Roberts and Cameron Dowd, which are both into the pit lane, both obviously feeling that they're not in the same pit garage, they are into the pit lane. Pit lane losses around about 22 seconds around this track. So by my calculations, Evan, Cameron Dowd compared to Luke Rapata, Danny Van Routen, they're going to be about a second and a half behind that pack coming out the pit lane.
Well, let's have a look. Tomasson rounds through the Peraltada and down towards turn number 1, and then there's the chasing pack. I wonder, is it a similar situation that we often see at Las Vegas, where your front wing damage is not as costly, as here they go, swapping and changing. It'll be Luca Rapassa and Azim who do get in front. Danny Van Routen also getting in front of Oscar, so Oscar has been left for dead. Luca Rapassa tries the long way around the outside on Danny Van Routen, and he's got to try the long way on Azim as well. Outside for one, inside for another. Luca Rapassa feels it's urgent to get in front of this train, and it kind of is, because the two McLarens are just about a second behind them. This is crucial territory for this race, but Azim holds on. Renz Tomasson in the provisional race lead, 3.4 seconds up the road. Then it is ETA Azim, Luca Rapassa, Danny Van Routen, Shazoo Oscar, and then the two McLarens of Dowds and Roberts.
Call me Mr. James, by the way. Cameron Dowd and Tom Roberts coming out the pit lane, 1.5 seconds. Absolutely dead on to the absolute 10th. So because of all that battling, though, it's now 6-7 tenths of a second. So Cameron and Tom are catching on to the back of this battle. They're going to play a little bit of mind games as well. Into the Ferrosol. Was that damage for Luke Rapazzo on the right side end plate damage? I thought I saw a little bit of carbon fibre flying off there on the right-hand side. Seems fine to me, but he's got a Azim ahead of him. Rodadell going from Matteo for second position as well. Out on track. Here comes Luke Rapazzo, though, on the back of Azim. Buckle up, fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be one wild and wacky ride onto lap 15 out of 36. Luke Rapazzo to the inside line on Azim, getting the move done. Azim there just about trying to fight back on the back of Luke Rapazzo. Doesn't get the move done. Cameron Dowd ahead of Oscar, though, does get the job done. He is through, and he's into 12th position. But more noticeably, I think, though, in this race, Evan, he's ahead of Tom Roberts, which I think is going to be big, definitely for the second half of the race.
I wonder, as Oscar runs a little bit wide in towards the corner, I wonder, as Tom Roberts 1 second, we'll get to that point eventually. He dives down the inside of Oscar. What I was going to say is, I wonder, is Tom going to try play the wingman for Cameron here? Because Tom obviously started in front of Cameron. He was running well. Cameron has caught up to him, and they are teammates. In terms of the championship, Cameron is significantly ahead. They're both in the same esports team. I wonder if, unlike the real McLaren team, these two McLarens are going to work together for the one goal of getting Cameron as many points from this race as possible. It's an intriguing thing to consider coming into the second half of this race. Lap 16 of 36, Efior Zorzo currently leads the Mexican Grand Prix ahead of Ryder Tal in second. Then it's Matteo, Dirk Max von der Geest, Hazara, Giovanni, Renz Tomasson, who's the leader of the pitters. And it's Luca Rapassa in ninth, who's just set the fastest lap. And it is ETA Azim in 10th. Now the man you're looking at in 11th is Danny Van Routen. He has depleted his whole tank of battery as Azim goes for Luca Rapassa once again, and there's a little bit of a nudge and a bit of contact made between the two. That costs Azim a chance at the move, but he'll have a second go down towards turn number 5 and 6. Does he go for the inside? Opts for the outside. Rapassa defends. This outside line is definitely achievable, but Danny Van Routen sneaks his front wing in the mix as well, and it's all going to stay how it was. Or is it? Because Cameron Dowds is now going to try go down the inside of Danny Van Routen, and the second place in the championship sees a real opportunity here, but he does back out. All remains as it was.
And it all remains as it was as well, out on track between the guys in front. Zorzo, Rodadel, Matteo currently the top three. Dirk there in fourth, Max von der Gies in fifth. Camerdad's looking for a move on the back of Danny Van Ruyten. Not quite close enough though. In toward the Ferrosol, in toward the right-hander now, turn number 12. Camerdad's ERS though, 80%. 21 for Danny Van Ruyten, 43 for Azim. Double the amount of ERS compared to Azim. Triple the amount compared to Danny Van Ruyten. Even more than that, in fact, compared to him as Gavano is into the pit lane. Medium compound tyres on the car. They're going to be shot towards the end of the race. Here comes Clyman Dowds, Flying Scotsman in action, down in towards turn number 1. Passes there. Danny Van Ruyten, one of his closest title rivals, Azim, now going for the move on Luke Rapata as well. In towards turn number 1. Can't find the way through the Turk on the back of Luke Rapata, trying to find the way through. Cameron Dowds, though, Flying Scotsman once again in action, looking to try, maybe to fill up on the oil pressure, I think, in towards turn number 4, trying to move around the outside of Azim. Azim's too early on the brakes. Cameron Dowds around the outside line, and that is what Freddie Rasmussen tried to do, Ron Holland Rasmussen tried to do in PCF1 back in the day. Cameron Dowds finishes into 9, Danny Van Ruyten there in 10, and Azim has just been bullied out of those 2 positions.
Yeah, Azim down to 11, and I got to give credit to the stream chat for this one, but if you're wondering why Azim is holding, or is battling them all, he is an esports teammate with Rens Tomasson. They're both in ET8, that's given Tomasson a little bit of an advantage up the road, and he was fighting with Luca Rapassa, who I think it's safe to say is not exactly a popular figure around the ET8 headquarters. So that probably explains why he was fighting there. And for his own sake as well, of course. He is a young driver that was looking to make inroads on to the greatest teams in league racing, esports, and your F1 Sim Racing World Championship. So he's definitely looking to make a name for himself here in PSF1. But unfortunately, he does lose another spot while having that conversation. He is down behind Tom, and I think his tyres could be a little bit shot. Oscar staying ahead of Alpha Gully and NLR Ryan, as Ryan is given a bit of a nudge off the road by Alpha Gully. He'll be fighting this one back, Will the German, down towards the left-hander. Burning the battery, just doesn't seem to have enough in the tank unless there's a lunge on here. Forces a big mistake from Alpha Gully, and that forces Alpha Gully onto the very tight line for the next corner. Just gives Ryan enough space. Ryan using all the curb on the outside to his advantage as well. And this is a brilliant piece of racing from the two. It is going to be Alpha Gully who comes out on top. He salvaged that one nicely.
I was going to boo Ryan even for that move and not the attempt down and towards turn 7. But then again, that's how I would drive, and I probably would have been spinning out the race right now if that was me. Ryan, though, is going to try in towards turn number 12 to the inside on. Another opportunistic move. Leans on the back of Alpha Gully. Brando Lane looking to try and get to the inside on as well. This is for P14 and 15, Danny Van Ruyten. Oh, brilliant move by Ryan. Gets the move done. Danny Van Ruyten, though, has picked up a 3-second penalty through Peril Tarda there at turn number 16. So that is him now in trouble with the stewards. 3-second penalty on that car. Got Tom around him, Cameron Dowds around him, Luke Rapata around him. It's going to be game time. There's 3 wide down the straight in behind. Brando, Ryan, Alpha Gully, side by side. Look at Damien Curiel coming like a shot towards turn number 1. Looking to try and make a quadruple move in towards turn number 1. Tries to get the job done. He certainly gets 2. May get 3 on the back of Brando. Running on the back now in towards turn number 4. Brando has got ERS. Damien's got barely any ERS left on that car. And Damien forfeits the move. Doesn't want to try it. Brando all out of shape through turn number 4 and 5. Damien there on the back in 15. Zozzle now leading the way. Matteo in second. Rodadel there in third. We should begin to see, Evan, a bit of cloud cover over the circuit, and also the guys in the set of hards begin to pit in from around about this point in the race.
Yeah, and the 2 championship leaders swapped round as well. Cameron Dowds got ahead of Luca Rapassa, and he is clawing in Rens Tomasson. He almost ended up in the wall as well as he takes a big bump over the right-hand curb, but he is clawing in Rens Tomasson. They're all swapping because of the slipstream in DRS, and it's a matter of time until Rens is in this train. Matteo overtakes Zorzo for the race lead. Knight Rider is back in front, and Zorzo falls down to second. Ryder down in third. These 3 they're running a steady race. Still definitely something in it for them with the alternative strategy. They'll be pitting for a set of the medium compound tyres. Remember, 1 safety car is all it takes for those guys to be in race-winning contention. So, still definitely an opportunity here for them. 1.2 the gap between Tomasson and Dowds. Rapassa behind 0.4 of a second, and Van Ruyten just there as well. Tom Roberts also in the train. Unfortunately for Azim, no man's land. He's been dropped by the championship contenders.
Yeah, he has been dropped. Oscar being dropped there as well. Brando, Damien Curiel, all within one line of stern formation coming to the right-hander there of turn number 6. But Mateo leading the way. Not often we see Mateo, to be honest, out in front these days in PSF1. Nothing against him whatsoever. Oh my word, he's sideways. Through and towards turn 13. As soon as I go on board with him, Knight Rider definitely coming alive here with Mateo. But Zozo will be thinking and maybe humming to himself the Batman theme in the background as well, down in towards turn number 1. Is it na 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 for P1 for Zozo to the inside line, in towards turn number 1, even before he gets towards turn number 1. Job done for Zozo. Mateo there down in second, Rodadell there in third. Hopefully, by the way, as Evan has definitely got that Batman reference, hopefully you did get it as well.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking, I was like, is it more the Batmobile or is it more Knight Rider? And then you made a Batman reference, so I was like, okay, we're at least we have some form of chemistry as a commentary duo, but it is Zorzo in the race lead, head of Mateo in second and Ryder Dahl in third. It would be a lot funnier if Ryder Dahl was running that livery, because then he would literally be Knight Rider, but no, he doesn't give us that pleasure. But back to the serious topics. That is a dark cloud forming over the second sector.
It is. Coming into the final sector, certainly on board with Zozo. This is what I mentioned earlier on. Cloud cover beginning to build over the circuit. Maybe it looks fine. It looks absolutely fine right now. It's sunny out on track, but we could see a little bit of rain in the final stage of the race. Cameron Dowds on the outside line of Renz Thomason. In towards Ferrasol. Renz definitely wanted to get Cameron Dowds ahead, I think, rather than going for the move. Cameron Dowds makes the move stick, though. Round the outside of turn number 12. Gets caught on the inside curve through the Ferrasol as well. And Cameron now is beginning to lead the train. He's got fresher tyres. And this is the worst possible thing for Renz Thomason right now as Max gets the move done on Dirk further down the field. Luca now running side by side along with Renz. Danny Van Mouten's going to try and get the double toe on both of them in towards turn number 1. Is Luke Rapata going to go for the move on Renz, though, on the outside line, in towards turn 1. Renz tries to stick it up the inside line of Cameron Dowd. Luke all the way around the outside. Beautiful move by Luke Rapata. That is how you pull off a move here in Mexico. Renz now going to try and be on the front foot. Danny Van Mouten on the front foot as well. Still not over and done with in towards turn number 4. Cameron Dowd. There goes Renz, the inside line of both of them. Tries to fake the dummy maybe in towards turn number 5. Slight bit of contact between Danny Van Mouten and Renz Thomason. They get caught in each other there slightly. Danny lets him back through slightly. He goes back to the inside line through turn number 6. Renz on the outside line through turn number 7. Is he going to be greedy and attempt this move? No, he doesn't. He has to back off. Danny Van Mouten there in 9th. Renz there in 10th. It's getting feisty between the title rivals.
It certainly is, and these guys have battled side by side so many times this season and not come into contact once. That could be the ultimate commentary curse, but it's also just a showcase of fine racing ability, as that is Danny Van Ruiten and Tom Roberts. Sorry, that's Tom Roberts getting past Renz Thomason. So Renz has been steam trained by... He's now down to the back of this train that he was 3.2 seconds in front of a handful of laps ago. Zorzo and Dirk come into the pit lane for a fresh set of mediums. They'll feel like nothing short of heavenly at this stage of the Grand Prix. Lap 23 of 36. And the favourite for this one, I'm sorry, it's the man who we were all slating after qualifying, Cameron Dowds.
Yeah, as I say, he's better in the race than he is in qualifying. Definitely proven that. But anything can happen in PSGL PSF1, and it usually does. It's a bit of a play on Murray Walker's famous line, of course, but it does happen. Safety car, VSC here and there, maybe just thinking above board, but anything to try and spice up what has already been a really good race. If there is that, then it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Looking though at the field, Mateo leading the way, Rodadell in second, Max von der Gies in third. The top 4 haven't pitted yet. Everyone is going to come in for a set of medium compounded tyres, and that will mean these guys, Luke Rapata, Cameron Dowd, Danny Van Mouten, the top guys in this field, the top 5, with the Zim trying to hunt them down as well, all will be on that set of hards towards the end of the race. Max von der Gies, speaking of which, another Knight Rider, you could say, into the pit lane as well for Max von der Gies, the all-black car, in toward the pit lane, and that is now going to be him on a set of medium compounded tyres. Rodadell for Mateo for the race lead. Cameron Dowds closing up on Luke Rapata, 2 title rivals, side by side, drawn and quartered in towards turn number 1 as Cameron Dowds do, into 4th. Could be, though, with everyone still yet to pit it all. Luke Rapata goes into the back of Cameron Dowds, very late on the brakes, in towards turn number 1. My word, it's very close out on track. Luke Rapata maybe a little bit of a wheel waggle there. Not sure if he was totally happy with that from Luca's end, but he's still there in a net second right now.
Yes, there's Danny Van Routen looking to get involved as well. Remember, it's Cameron and Luca who are at the top of the order, but Danny Van Routen certainly has a foot in the fight. That goes without saying almost. So after taking pole, he probably still feels there's something in this for him, but that 3-second penalty will hamper him severely. Cameron and Luca slowly catching up to some traffic in front in the form of Hazara, Matteo and Ryder Dahl, but I'm sure they'll be into the pit lane before these guys do catch them, so it's not really a worry, just something in the back of their mind. But yeah, Luca and Cameron starting to maybe get a little bit tense and starting to get a little bit close and personal. Cameron, severe advantage in terms of the battery, and he's going to burn some of that heading onto the 25th lap of proceedings. Matteo and Ryder Dahl are into the pit lane for a set of the mediums, and they'll carry on. So only one car out in front, Hazara. Remember the last time Hazara stayed long? That was Suzuka, and what drama that caused. So keep an eye there on him, as not Rens Tomasin, sorry, Tom Roberts and Danny Van Routen. That's a real precarious position for Tom Roberts. He'll stay behind, but almost coming to blows. It's just getting a little bit antsy. It's getting a little bit close in towards turn number 1 every lap.
Yeah, it's about as animated as the wheelchair rugby right now in the Paralympics. Hazara, they're leading the way. Cameron Dowds in second. Luke Rapazza there in third. Everything is on the line, I think, within this race. Cameron Dowds leading the way. I will disagree with George Morgan, and I do not take this lightly at all with some of his comments there in the chat. Cameron Dowds, I think, is in the worst position out on track. He's in the net lead of the race. Hazara might cause a little bit of chaos. Cameron Dowds and Luke Rapazza are title rivals. I think what's going to happen is Cameron Dowds is going to get maybe a little bit animated with Luke Rapazza. They have a fight. They bring Danny Van Routen into play. Personally, if I'm a betting man right now, I'm looking at Tom Roberts. 81% of ERS, currently in 4th position. ERS is very, very powerful down the straight, as is DRS on this game, especially around this track in Mexico. Tom, I think, is the one to watch out for right now. 78% of ERS. Danny Van Routen on 27, Luke Rapazza on 57. Tom's got the ERS advantage on him. If I was him right now, I'd be in his position.
I don't think Cameron's in the worst position, because you got to remember these guys at this stage of the race will be thinking about everything, and Cameron will be thinking, I'm in the provisional lead of the race after having my second worst qualifying of the season. Luca will be thinking, I got bailed out by Cameron's worst qualifying, and he's still beating me. Ooh. So there'll be a little bit of psychological warfare. Cameron Dowds wanted that move done on Hazara, but one thing we have learned about the Norwegian driver who came third in the PSF2 championship last season is that he does not move out of the way for anybody. He will stay in front. He'll run his own lines. It's your job to get around him. No blue flags at play or anything. Hazara is in the lead of this race technically. He's just on a much worse strategy, and that has held up Cameron Dowds. And Luca Rapazza is going to pounce to the front. It's 2-1 for Rapazza, and there is contact made with Hazara. Hazara catches his car beautifully, but he is down to 6th. Controversy into the Forest Sol. Luca Rapazza did not hit that one out of the park in towards the baseball stadium, and he might be under investigation come the end of the race if Hazara finds that fitting. But it is Rapazza in the race lead. He is in the lead of the championship by 3 points. He's in the lead of the race by 3/10, but his fiercest rival this season is right behind him. And is he going to go for it in towards turn number 1? He absolutely is. It's the Scotsman on the inside. The Dutchman hangs it round the outside. Luca Rapazza will remain in the lead of this race. Will that change down towards turn number 5? I think it might, because Dowds is going for this one, not burning the battery, just going to use the natural slipstream and straight line speed advantage that he seems to have. Doesn't go latest on the brakes, will stay behind. They're side by side behind Danny Van Routen and Rens Tomasin. Van Routen is doing everything he can to keep in this one with that penalty, and now Tom Roberts is looking for the advantage. Sneaks down the inside, goes Tom Roberts. Tomasin, massive slide, but holds it nicely.
That was a little bit of retribution, I think, from a few laps ago where they got into contact, remember, at the start of their stint. Tom Roberts there in 4th, Rens there in 5th. Rens will not be too happy by that. I'm not really happy that Tom pulled that off, but the gap was there to the inside line, so it's an intriguing one. Let's just put it that way. Luke Rapazza, though, leading the way. He's now leading 4/5 of a second. Cameron Dowds in second. Look at the battery. 97% of ERS coming out through the peril tunnel right now. Anybody to watch out for further down the field, Evan? Zozo. P10, medium compound tyres, 2.5 seconds off the back of Azara, 2.5 seconds off the back of the likes of Volokong and Brando as well. Watch out for him in the second half of this race. Cameron Dowd's now going for the race lead on the back of Luca. Ren's going to go around the outside on Tom. Tom is way too deep in towards turn 1. Ren's like taking candy from a baby, tries to take P4, but they're both caught in a bit of a squirming match coming out of turn number 4, turn number 3, running down towards turn number 4. Tom's got the inside line. Ren's can try and fight back. He's got barely any ERS left. Tom goes deep again, but he gets the move. Tom through and he's into 4th, using all of that experience to good effect. But if Tom and Ren's cost each other more time, Evan, Zozo, Volokong and Brando all come directly into play, especially that man on a set of mediums.
Yep, fastest lap of the race held so far for FV Zorzo. We were really talking about him in qualifying, actually, saying how he got 1 podium last season, hasn't got one this season, best result of 4th, and that was in Silverstone, but admittedly he hasn't been here for a lot of races either, so that's definitely another caveat. But he is driving very well in that 8th position, and James, would you be confident in that medium tyre in going to the end?
I would. I think those mediums can get to the end of the race. We saw with the mediums earlier on, 13, 14 laps, I think, out on track. They're going to get 13, 14 laps out of it, no problem. Zozo is one to watch. Volokongan is catching the back of Renz as well. Zozo's going to go for the move on Brando in towards turn 1, as does Luca and Cameron. Very easy move there for Luca on the back of Cameron in towards turn 1. Zozo there in 7th. If Zozo can get Volokongan very quickly indeed, and those mediums don't fall off, and he just begins to maintain his battery a little bit better, Zozo is directly in for top 5 finish. He is looking very good right now. The Spaniard now coming charging at the back of Volokongan in towards turn number 4. Does he risk the move? No, he knows better than that. Zozo does not go for the move. He's got a wall of cars in behind him. Dirk, Max von der Gies could come into play potentially. Zozo, though, I think, if he can get ahead of Volokongan this lap around and save a bit of his ERS like he's doing now, I think he's in contention for a top 5 finish.
Well, he would be, definitely, because Danny Van Ruiten has a penalty. He'd definitely be in contention for a top 5 finish. Maybe even a little bit more if the cards fall into his lap nicely. But we're going on to lap 30 out of 36. That's still plenty of running in a PSGL race. And Luca and Cameron are just managing this one at the front. It's probably one of the very few times that 2 fierce rivals are going to work together in a sim racing scene, or certainly in a motorsport scene. And Cameron Dowds will not burn his battery, but still most likely take the race lead as Tom Roberts tries to lunge it down the inside. As Cameron and Luca are still side by side here. Neither of them really want to lead this race, but fortunately one of them has to. Cameron puts on the battery button. He does not want to fall behind Danny Van Ruiten, and he is still going for the race lead, so he fancies leading into the S's. Remember, in this battle, Cameron and Tom are both teammates. Luca and Danny's teammate are not here in the fight. Luca's teammate is down in 18th position, and Danny's teammate is not here this evening. So it is 2 cars versus 1 car versus 1 car. If you consider teammates working together in PSGL, that's not always the case though, when there is so much at stake. But they circle into the S's section. It is Dowds, Rapassa, Van Ruiten, Roberts for the top 4, and Rens to Masson, James, I think he's just falling by the wayside on those older tyres.
He is. I think he's came in the pit lane thinking that he's going to be there toward the end of the race. He is still going to be there, but he's got Zozo closing in at a rate of knots. 2.1 seconds, 2 seconds. He's just made a mistake through Peraltada as well as Renz. There goes Tom Roberts to the inside on Danny Van Ruiten just ahead of him as well. Zozo, as I say, is the one to watch out for in this battle. He is closing in at a rate of knots. He just needs to hope that these guys stop falling over each other, stop being a little bit aggressive, like they could be down in towards turn 1 right now. Cameron, Luke Rapatico on for the race lead for Cameron Dowd. Tom around the outside and Dad Van Ruiten. Gonna play into Render's hands, and that contact will definitely play now into Render's hands. It'll definitely play into Zozo's hands as well. Danny Van Ruiten 3rd, Tom Roberts there in 4th, Ren's there in 5th. Lawrence, by the way, made a very good point early on about it being Yazoo 1, 2, 3, 4. Danny Van Ruiten, I think though, Evan, you might have just saw what I saw. He's got left side end plate damage.
I saw a bit of contact. I didn't see damage, but certainly would explain it. Danny Van Ruiten, we're also getting a... Yes, he's completely missing that left end plate. That's for certain. But we were actually getting a positive report in for him. He can get that penalty removed seemingly, according to his engineers and according to Timon and Blanken in the stream chat. But he now has that damage, so that has kind of ruled out any positive that we were going to say about him. You can see him struggling a little bit, but as we said earlier, wing damage around Mexico is not as bad as maybe last week in Jeddah. If he can just about keep up through the corners, he'll get that DRS and straight line speed down the straight, but he is immediately struggling here, and if Tom Roberts doesn't have that knowledge already, someone needs to get it to him and tell him to get past Danny Van Routen immediately, otherwise he could fall out of the fight for the win. Unfortunately, Azim's second race in PSGL F1 will end as a non-finish, but still some positive showings from the young man. Definitely only at the start of his league racing career, and we will see more from him, maybe not even this season, but definitely next season.
Yeah, definitely so. George, by the way, is just using a very good pun on me. I will definitely take that with a bit of humble pie. I think that is for sure. Luca Rapata leading the way, Cameron in second, Danny Van Routen 11th, third. Cameron Dowd is in the very much the box seat now in the house. 100% of EOS, full battery. Luca Rapata, though, has got near enough a full battery as well, so it's not all over and done with yet. Danny Van Routen and Tom, ignore this battle because Danny is going to come back into Tom. They're going to forfeit the positions maybe to Renz and Zolzo. But look out for everyone in behind. In fact, actually, Evan, it's a 13-car train, 14-car train, I think,
Reminds me
for
of
the race
Jeddah.
lead right now. Which, yeah, reminds me of Jeddah as well. We're going on to lap 33 right about now. Luca leading the way, Cameron in second, Danny Van Routen there in third. Are you going to be rooting for I can't even speak. Are you going to be rooting for Van Routen here out on track there in P3? Got there in the end. Tom Roberts there in fourth, Renz there in fifth. Cameron Dowd's not going for the race lead. Luca is weaving all the way down the straight in towards turn number one. Cameron maybe going to go for the race lead. Watch out for the man in behind as well, the Dutchman. Cameron Dowd's inside line through turn number three, puts them out wide, bringing Tom Roberts into play, bringing Danny Van Routen into play, and it could be three wide and towards turn number four. Cameron Dowd's, though, now rockets ahead of Luke Rapata. The lap pressure tyres come into play. Danny Van Routen there in third, but it is getting very tactical very quickly here in Mexico.
That was intriguing by Luca Rapasa, wasn't it? The weaving on the straight. I wouldn't do it again, because we have the owner of the organisation watching the broadcast tonight, Lucas, so I wouldn't risk that one again. But he's now down to second, Cameron in first. Look, you've got two young drivers here who are definitely mature heads on young shoulders. They know how to play their tactics. But there's a lot of drivers behind who have been in almost every situation in league racing at this point. As Zorzo is going to look for the move on Renz Tomasin. Don't rule him out yet on the hard to medium strategy. Bit of a shoulder barge from Tomasin. He's going to try the up and under through the Peraltada. Oh, that's just a thing of beauty how he's got the traction there. But Renz Tomasin on 24 lap old Pirelli hard tyres does hold on, heading down towards turn number one. Zorzo using up a lot of his battery to try and get this position. Look how quick they're gaining on Tom Roberts, and Tomasin looks to move. Zorzo dives down the inside. There's contact made between him and Tom Roberts, but he still somehow gets the move done. Excellent. Excellent racing from the Spaniard and the Dutchman, if a little bit aggressive.
Very aggressive, I'm going to say, from Zorzo, but you've got to be aggressive to get moves done, and somehow you've got to get your elbows out to get moves done as well. That's what we saw there with Zorzo doing his into fifth. I think he would have got the move done anyways, judging by Renz's tyres. Renz's tyres are still rather fresh, but Zorzo's tyres are going to be falling off the cliff as well, so they could be around about the same level before they get towards the end of the race. Cameron leading the way, Luke Rapata in second, Danny Van Routen there in third. Right now, Cameron Dowd's probably in the box seat, but he's also in the worst position and the most vulnerable position out on track as well. I will come back to Tom Roberts there in fourth. Tom is looking really strong right now. Zorzo there in fifth, looking strong. There is a yellow flag. There is a crash through the middle sector. That's Alpha Gully, Ryan and Oscar, all caught up in carnage there further down the field. That's through the SA section through turn 7 to 11. So that is them down towards the back end of the field. No safety car VSC toward the end of the race. Here comes Cameron Dowd though for the race lead. Championship leader against championship second.
Back.
Cameron Dowd knows he's going to be in a vulnerable position. Doesn't want to go for the move. Danny Van Routen there in third. Here comes Tom Roberts to the inside line. 2x2. Noah's Ark in towards turn number one. Zorzo running behind there as well. Four McLarens in amongst this battle for the race lead, albeit there's two of them in real life in this battle. Cameron leading the way, Luke Rapata in second. Here comes Tom Roberts to the inside line, on the back of Danny Van Routen. Does the experience tell? To the inside line. Three wide's never going to work in towards turn number four. It somehow does. Luke Rapata forced out wide by Danny Van Routen. Here comes Zorzo Zorzo to the inside on the Spaniard. Tries to make it 3 wide. Very impossible. Both of them forced out wide. Tom Roberts now on the outside line of Luca. On the outside of Dan Van Houten. Thomas somehow, out of all of that, in third. Cameron now leads the way. Zorzo there in second. Carbon fibre flying, I think, from Dirk in the background as well. Cameron Dowd still leading the way. I think this is Cameron's race to lose now.
Tom Roberts, Cameron Dowd's his teammate, is going to be number 1 on his Christmas card list because he's just brought a load of chaos to this field, which has given Cameron a 1.4 second lead heading on to the last lap of the Mexican Grand Prix. And this is an unbelievable turn of events. Cameron didn't really want to lead, took the race lead. His teammate decided to make it free wide at the corner and brought a whole world of pain upon championship leader Luca Ripasa. Down towards turn number 1, Roberts second, Zorzo third, 3, almost 4 abreast in towards the chicane. It is Roberts in front. Huge lunge from Ripasa down the inside. Knows he needs the points. Is already losing out to Cameron Dowd. Tom Roberts very squarely on the exit of the corner. Down towards the left-hander. Down towards turn number 5 and 6. Where's Ripasa going to go for it? The outside line. We've seen Dowds pull this one off today. He's got to try hook it round on the McLaren. The actual McLaren driver. And Luca Ripasa is able to get the move done. That is beautiful. Excellent racing by him. Cameron Dowds has ran up the road, just needs to avoid any form of mistakes. Zorzo dives it down the inside of Renz Tomasin heading into the S's section, and Zorzo is now up and ahead into 5th place. What a turn of events this one has been for your Zorzo. But running through the final corners. Oh, look at this! It's all chaos kicking off. Renz Tomasin, Volakongan side by side in towards the Forest Sol for the final time. Cameron Dowds, though, took 2 wins last season, and we all doubted him after qualifying. He cut through the field and soars in Mexico City. Cameron Dowds takes his 2nd win of this season and the championship lead for now. Tom Roberts then does get a podium in 3rd, an excellent result for him. Zorzo in 4th, Renz Tomasin in 5th, Volokong in 6th, Mateo comes home in 7th, Damien Carell in 8th, Dirk 9th, Danny Van Routen slips to 10th, but we do have to see what that will be like with his penalty removal. The season that keeps on giving.
Definitely so, and somehow Cameron Dowds won out of all of that, and I was probably his worst critic, I think, I had on track as well tonight. But he absolutely deserved that. He broke away from ERS, and in the end, he drove phenomenally well, but all of that was all too aggressive, and Cameron Dowds was slipping away very easy towards the end of the race as well. Not saying that he deserves the win, because he absolutely does. Cameron Dowds, though, gets a race win out on track. He gets 1 point over Luke Rapata going in towards the final 4 races of the season as well. Cameron's dad is very happy there in the chat as well. I doubt him. Somehow, people in the chat
doubted him
might
for
have
about
doubted
2
him.
hours.
We did, and Cameron
You did.
Dowd
I didn't.
somehow...
Don't bring me into this.
We're shared commentary box. We have to take joint responsibility from this. But no, Cameron Dowd absolutely deserves it. Phenomenal race win out on track. Proving me wrong, proving anybody that doubted him wrong. He's now out on top in the championship, as I say, by 1 point over Luke Rapata. But Luke Rapata's track is up next in Belgium. Cameron Dowds is quite weak around there. I think it's going to change again.
Yeah, it could. But I think it could change practically every race until the end of the season. But what a win from Cameron Dowd. He started in 13th. Is one of his worst qualifyings in a long time. And he takes the race win. He definitely is an expert in the race trim. Then it is Luca Rapasa, Tom Roberts, Zorzo, Renz Tomasin, Volakongan, Mateo, Damien, Dirk, Danny Van Routen, Ryder Dahl, Brando, Giovanno, Max Hazara, Alpha Gully, Ryan, Oscar, Azam, and then Jerome rounds us off. Hopefully, we can hear from some of the podium placers in a moment's time. One thing I don't want to let go unnoticed is the absolute dog's work that Tom did on that second last lap to let Cameron run away a bit. The 2 McLarens, I think we said before or during qualifying that they are maybe the strongest teammates together, and that definitely proved itself tonight.
It definitely did. Sorry, I'm just trying to get and see if the guys are available for interviews. Cameron Dowd is already in the waiting room, so we can go there in a second. But yeah, I think honestly, how that race transcribed, Tom definitely helped Cameron quite a lot within that race. They're both teammates, both in the McLarens, of course, this season. And in the end, I think Tom definitely will be on top of Cameron Dowd's Christmas card list, and Cameron Dowd will be on top of Tom's Christmas card list, I think, after that, certainly as well. Is it too early to talk about Christmas, 2nd of September?
Yeah,
Probably
it's way
not,
too
but
early. Way too early.
it's way too early. You mentioned it earlier on, so you brought it up. You can't
Oh
go
yeah,
back on that.
oh, come, I'll take fault for that one. Yeah, we don't have to share that responsibility.
Definitely so. Cameron Dadstock is within the waiting room. I believe he is joining on PC or some form of device, so we should be able to get him in straight away.
Yeah, we'll give it a try anyways. Hello, Cameron, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, talk us through that one then. You qualify 13th. What are you thinking after qualifying? What do you have to do going into that race?
Well, I actually PB'd, to be honest. It's just a joke, man. My qualifying pace is just shocking. I don't really know how, like, I can be so much faster in the race, but I just feel so much more comfortable. I knew the race was going to be fun. It's actually quite hard to overtake here, but I knew I had to just give it everything. Because I knew that if Luca won this one, then it's just the championship is thrown away a little bit as I'm going on holiday. Not the next race, but the race after that. So I'm going to miss a race. So I need a bit of a gap going into that race, and then this has helped that. It was a really good race, to be honest. I can't really think of anything I did wrong. I overtook at all the right times, and then this time I actually had a ERS to back myself up. I was making sure to be careful with it, and then I got to the front quite quickly, and I sort of initiated a little battle between Luca and the others, and it worked out absolutely perfect. Because I knew going into turn one, if me and Luca were side by side, if I had the DRS, he'd be under pressure, and I knew there'd be a battle. So that's what I did, and it worked out absolutely brilliant. And then managed to gap them, and yeah, that was it. And there was no stressful last lap, so that was really nice.
We saw a lot of side by side action into the first corner, maybe between yourself and Luca. Just if it was, say, a normal last lap, did you want to be in second or first for that? Because we saw you didn't really want to take the race lead, but it worked out that way on the penultimate lap.
I would. There's no way I would have been leading into the last lap. I really did not want to. The double DRS, if you're in first and the car behind is less than half a second, you're absolutely done for. You're just going to get overtaken. So I knew that I could not be in the lead going into the last lap. And that's why on the penultimate lap, I tried to initiate a battle, because that was the one thing I knew, if they battled, that I could get away. And that's exactly what happened.
And I want to cast your mind back a little bit to PSGL season 29 in the F5 Championship, when an amazing performance from yourself basically gave you the momentum to go on and win the championship. Is the plan to run it back?
I can't remember that season whatsoever. I think I remember battling with St. Yogurt in like a Bahrain race, but apart from that, I don't remember any of the F5 season.
Oh, you dominated it, just in case you forgot.
Cheers. But I need to outscore Luca again next race, and then there's still a big chance to get the championship. But if Luca can outscore me next race by a lot, it's not going to be good for me. So I'm going to really have to try hard next week.
James, any questions from yourself?
Well, put it this way, I'm glad he's not getting mullered by Yogurt Ad on track either, from PSFI. Anyways, enough of my bad puns. We go to next week in Belgium. I did say there at the end of that race that it is potentially one of your weaker tracks compared to Luca. How do you think you're going to get on around there?
I can tell you now. Usually, the longer the track, the worse the qualifying, because there's more time for me to lose time. So that's never a good thing. But I'm sure it'll just be the same old story of shit qualifying and then good race pace, because that's what always happens. And luckily, Belgium's a track where you can overtake, so I think I should be fine as long as we've got decent race pace, which usually we do.
Yeah, and we know ERS management is definitely on your side as well. That is definitely going to be a big feature going into next race. Congratulations on the race ring, Cameron. I did doubt you quite a lot within that commentary. I will go make my humble pie. Go and enjoy evening.
Yeah, thank you, you too.
And Pat and Tom should be joining us, maybe from PlayStation, I think. So we're going to have to go to the waiting room.
We'll give it a try first and see. Let's bring in the second place man, Luca Rapassa. Yep, shouldn't have doubted you. Let's try Tom quickly before they both get jumped out of the waiting room. Hello Tom, can you hear me?
Yes.
Congratulations, it is your first podium of the season. No, sorry, apologies. It is your third podium of the season. I directly apologise. But that was a very chaotic one. First question I have to ask you is, were you thinking about your teammate up the road when going for that move on the penultimate lap, or is that just the move you thought you had to make to try win?
Yeah, definitely was the move I had to make to try and get the win. After being stuck in P4 for about 14 laps, I had to do something, and even if that 3 wide moment meant just getting past one of them, I needed to do it. Because if I was P4 on the last lap, I'm not going nowhere, so had to be done. Maybe I wouldn't have done it if Cameron was one of the two in that, so I wouldn't try and crash him, get him into an incident. But it had that bonus that I let him get ahead at the same time.
Then going forward for the final 4 races of the season, what's your sort of goal then? Because I know you and Cameron have a nice lead in the constructor standings now, or are you just going to take it race by race and just try and keep picking up these strong results?
I'll try to keep picking up the strong results, try and get the win. To be honest, I've only had third places now, and it's getting on my nerves. I want to try and get up in the standings, towards the top 5, instead of being all the way down in P10. But if I have to help Cameron win the championship, then I'll try to do that. But I'm focused on myself mainly. The constructors should come naturally, with us both being fast.
James, any questions from yourself?
Decent response there from Tom. Obviously, definitely going to be focusing on the rest of the season, I think, in terms of the Constructors' Charge. With that in mind, Constructors' Charge is definitely on. You think of extending your championship lead in the Constructors' standings. Is that a primary focus for you both going into the final couple of races of the season, or are you focusing at least to try and get a top 5 finish in the drivers' standings as well?
No, I mean, I'm definitely focusing on my own driving. Cameron's focusing on his own driving. And if we both do well, then, we're going to win the constructors. So, sort of, it's going to happen if we try and if Cameron tries to win the championship, I'm trying to get 5th or top 5. We're just going to score a lot of points as a team. So, or we need to anyways.
Yeah, how's the feeling as well going into Belgium, of course, next week? It is going to be our round number 9, I think it is, next week. I'm losing count here. Round 9 of the championship, it will be in Belgium. How do you think you're going to get on around there individually?
I think it's one of my worst tracks, to be honest. But my pace has been on the up recently, so hopefully I can make something work at Belgium. I mean, I've had really good pace the past few rounds, and it's not gone well. So maybe if my pace is bad, I might have some more luck.
Yeah, definitely. So, mind you, if Tom said to me he was like top 5 in the standings at about the midway point of the season, I'd be having you on, because I thought honestly he has come about the last couple of races of the season, which is really, really good to see, and hopefully that does continue going forward into round number 9 in Belgium. Go and enjoy Ethan.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Evan.
Very welcome indeed. Now TT Emerson has gone, we can go in the waiting room.
Yep, let's go over to Luca and panic change all the OBS files again. Hello, Luca, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Luca, congratulations. It is a second place for you tonight, but maybe not exactly what you wanted. Just give me 1 second to just fix the file, and there you go. Everyone can hear you now.
Qualifying was shit. Wheel disconnect. I was very confident for quali. Though before with a decent lap, but not ideal. And then the race, yeah, I was just trying to stay out of trouble. A bit being more aggressive than last week because that's what screwed me over last week. So that worked out. But then lap 35, I don't know what some people were thinking. I heard like Zorzo pushed me and Danny completely off. I don't know what exactly happened, but Cameron was able to gap. But that ruined it for me, to be honest.
Yeah, do you feel that you've become a lot more aware maybe of how aggressive the other drivers are now that you're in such a strong place in the championship? Or is this always something that maybe you felt that you're not as aggressive as others and that sometimes costs you?
Oh, I'm. It's depending. Like sometimes I'm aggressive, but I like to give people more space. Maybe they don't deserve that much because like Jedi, I got hit a lot of times. Like it screwed me over. So this time was just being more aggressive with the defending and attacking. It kind of worked out. Had a good move on Tom on the last lap, but not what I wanted because I didn't win. So.
You're still in a very strong position in the championship. Cameron, of course, is missing around. He has confirmed to us. So you're still in a very strong position. What's the mindset like going into the final 4 races? What is your plan?
Well, I'm just hoping I can get what will be ideal if I win when Cameron's when he's missing a race, but try to be on the podium at least every race. I've gotten like 5 podiums now, so that's good. I just try to beat Cameron basically because I know Renz is pretty far behind now with what happened, so be consistent and outscore Cameron. That's basically the goal.
And for the final time, James, do you have any questions?
Yeah, focusing on Belgium going into next week. You're 1 point behind Cameron Dowds going into the championship fight, going into Belgium. How do you think you're going to get on around there? And can you take that fight to Cameron, knowing that he is weak in qualifying?
Oh, I think as you've seen today, like him qualifying P13 doesn't really matter for him. I know with WR also qualified near the back, so he will be there no matter where he qualifies, really. So it's just racing him smart. He played DRS games on F35, which I didn't expect. Just played smart and beat him. That's the plan.
Beat him, that is the plan. I will definitely hold you to that plan if you are sitting here again next week. Good, congratulations on that podium finish. Come and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Very welcome to you, Evan, by the way, getting that Discord call in the background.
Could you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, apologies. That was someone who was watching the stream ringing me, by the way. So they still knew I was on stream, so don't blame me for that one. But what a very, very interesting night once again here in PSGL F1, James. I know we like to say that it whets the appetite for a big season, but the appetite is certainly whetted. I think everything on top now is just a plus.
Everything on top now will just be a plus. We had fantastic races throughout the season. Jeddah last week wasn't too bad. Obviously, we had Mexico tonight. That was pretty good. Are we going to see more of the same in Belgium and in the likes of Monza coming up as well? I hope to think so. I'm actually doing Monza in a couple of weeks' time for another league, so going to be seeing how they get on around there as well. But obviously, how everything is going to be transcribed in the season all bears down, I think, to the Belgian Grand Prix. Can Cameron Dowds pretty much outdo all of his hoodlums, all of his weaknesses, I think, in terms of qualifying, and actually try and get a relatively good qualifying position within the top 5, maybe within the top 10? Does Luke Rapata put that now completely into weakness going into Belgium? Can Danny Van Renz bounce back from a disappointing race result? Only time will tell. Of course, more action to come on the PSGL PC tiers as well. We've got PCF1 coming up on Wednesday night. George Morgan, who you saw there in the chat, is back, and that is the Belgian Grand Prix that they're going to be doing as well. And of course, we've got PC as well on Thursday night, 7 p.m. PC F3 and F5, 8 p.m. PC F2 and F4, and then unfortunately, you get the PSTers back on 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Mondays, which I hope is not too bad, because if you did enjoy the stream, you can like, comment, subscribe, and tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. I'm also going to now throw in our sponsors, GT Omega.
Oh, 1 second, let me go back to the cameras. 1 second, let me get your camera up. There we go.
GT Omega, with these beautiful chairs that I've got to say we are sitting in. Evan's probably got a better chair than me, albeit, but this is still very nice and comfortable.
They
are the leading manufacturer.
Hold on, pull to the left again.
Do we?
Yeah, I just don't have the cushion on mine, but we've the same chair.
Yeah. See, I have the cushion on mine because my neck gets a little bit weak, but there
old.
we are. Yeah, exactly. Our leading manufacturer of gaming peripherals, of course, are GT Omega. You can use code PSGL at checkout for 5% off on all GT Omega products as well. And also Sim Racing Centre, if you want to take advice from 2-time F1 Esports champion Brendan Lee, and also get mega setups expert engineering or strategy advice, one-to-one coaching as well with some of their team, you can use code SRC, use code PSGL for the SRC website, 10% off your purchase on the Sim Racing Centre website. Bang, 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 title sponsors are done.
Yes, folks, and we're going to give you one more word from them, of course, after we finish. But before we finish, we'd like to thank you very much once again for your viewership on tonight's PSGL F1 Championship. This has been such a successful season from all regards, and it is a pleasure to have you alongside with us. We'll be back next week in the Ardennes Forest for the Belgian Grand Prix. Don't miss it. 8 o'clock here on the PSGL YouTube channel, which I think hit 45,000 subscribers earlier when I was setting up the stream, which is a huge milestone. And we once again thank you for that. But from the drivers, from myself, Evan Dalton, and from James Head alongside me, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. Bye-bye.
Got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though.